Smith. You're watching Bluegrass Legends, and today we're joined by fitness coach, fitness competitor, fitness guru, gym rat, whatever else you want to say, business owner, Morgan Self.
What's up? Hi, nice to be here.
Morgan, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
And can you tell us more about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm 32. Got into fitness as long as I can remember ago. Have 3 awesome doggos at the house. Got a mini pig that lives with me. Very, very, very active as far as like in the fitness community. Own my own business, so help women just reach their fitness goals. It's what I've chosen to do as a career. Coming out of college and thinking I wanted to do all kinds of other things, and this is what I landed on.
So women only?
Yep.
Cool.
We only work with women. I used to work with men, but it's a completely different dynamic.
Oh yeah.
Working with men and working with women, and sometimes women just need that like space
Right.
to
Very cool.
talk about women things, you know?
Yeah. So regarding the fitness coaching, what all does that entail?
So we help women with their nutrition. We help them with their workouts, so either at home or in the gym. We do flexible dieting, so I'm sure you know about flexible dieting. But
I don't know anything about dieting.
Well, it's no foods are off limits, like macronutrients. So
Really?
your amounts of protein and your carbs and your fats, and you can choose whatever food you want. So it's more so like the fitness, like a lifestyle type of, we call it a mentorship instead of like a program, but it's more so lifestyle instead of like a strict, rigid diet.
Makes sense.
Just trying to help women like get away from the fads and the cleanses and the detoxes and all of the rat race, just hamster wheel.
Right.
Getting away from that and finding something that's really sustainable for them.
That's very interesting. So, are you currently accepting new clients?
Yeah.
And if so, can you tell the viewers how to go about how those people can contact you if they're interested in your services?
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely are accepting new clients. I have multiple coaches on my team that have all gone through my training on how to effectively coach on the methods that I came up with. So, I do have a website. It's coachmorgan.co. I'm also on social media. Morgan Self _ is my Instagram. You can find me on Facebook under Morgan Self. Just send me a DM. We can get a call set up. We go through a full, usually about an hour-long conversation, just to kind of understand where they're at, what you really need help with, time frame for coaching, like what's going to be effective as far as like a 3-month package or 6-month or 12-month or whatever. So we can customize everything and then get you rolling.
So at Christmas and New Year, do you usually see an uptick in clientele?
Yeah, before Christmas is usually a little slower, just because everyone's buying presents and it's busy and trying to go all these family functions and everything. But usually like the week after Christmas, going into New Year's, everyone's ready to go.
When Morgan walked in here, she passed up a table full of Christmas cookies, and I offered them to her though. So hey, that's all I can do.
I'm full of Christmas. I ate too many Christmas cookies.
I think I ate enough for all of us. But anyway, let's jump right to it, Morgan.
Yeah.
So where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Stamping Ground. My family's originally from Brandenburg, Kentucky, Meade County. Very small town, and my dad worked. He retired from Toyota. So when I was 3, moved to Stamping Ground. Been there basically my whole life. I live in Georgetown now, but building a house currently back in Stamping Ground.
Oh,
so
congrats on that. So,
yeah.
This is kind of eerie, but speaking of Stamping Ground and Brandenburg, those 2 towns are notorious for the tornado, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I remember Brandenburg. Is that right, Brandenburg?
Yep.
Yeah, they got hammered.
In like the 70s.
And didn't 30 people die or something?
Yeah, a lot of people died. My mom and dad were both in those
Really?
tornadoes.
Oh, goodness.
My grandfather was a sheriff's deputy during
Really?
all of that. So
That's interesting. Mm-hmm. Was he a sheriff's deputy there?
Yep, in Brandenburg. Yep.
What county is that?
Meade.
Meade, yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's out by Louisville, right?
Yeah, closer to like E-Town,
Okay.
Radcliffe.
Oh, off the BG Parkway
Area,
maybe
yeah.
somewhere. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't been out that way a whole lot, but.
There's no reason to go out that way, really.
So what was life like for a kid in Stamping Ground?
Yeah, boring. I think of now because I live in the neighborhood, see the kids running around with like their friends and all that stuff. Like my only sibling's 14 years older than me. So he was off to college and all that good stuff, but we didn't have just like the hey, like, can Morgan come out and play? Like, I didn't have that. It was, you go outside, play in the creek, or,
I had no clue you were from Stamping Ground. My
yeah.
wife grew up there too.
Oh, really?
Born and raised. She's a Scott County all
Oh,
of her life.
I mean, I love Stamping Ground, but yeah, it was one of those things that, once you're home for the evening, you're home. Like, there's not, parents are on 11 acres out there, so I didn't have any kids around me, so I was very much so like basically like a single kid, or like an only child. But even though I have a brother, he's so much older than me, but just had to find things to do to, go fishing or
Go milk a cow or something.
go in the creek. You gotta play with some rocks, like find things to do.
Did you enjoy school? Where did you go to school? I mean, so they didn't. I guess you went to Stamping Ground.
So I actually went to St. John's.
Oh, okay.
My family's
Private school.
Catholic.
Oh,
So
cool.
my family's Catholic, so I went to St. John's from daycare through fifth grade. Begged my mom to be able to go to public school.
Really?
Going into sixth grade, because just a lot of my friends at St. John's, which St. John's, I think my fifth grade class was like 17 kids or something. I mean, it's a tiny school. So all of my friends were leaving, going to public school in sixth grade, and I was like, Mom, like, please, I'm not gonna have any friends here. So she let me go to public school. So I went to Scott County Middle in
Oh yeah.
sixth grade.
Cool.
And
Were you a sociable kid, or did the private sector kind of introvert you a little bit, or?
I was very sociable in elementary school. I was a shy kid, but it's like once you're in a class of 17, you know everyone.
Wow, yeah.
There's no reason to be shy. There's only 9 girls in the whole class. So very social then. When I went to Scott County Middle, it was a massive shock because
I bet.
all of those kids knew each other.
So how many sixth graders were at St. John's? Like 16 after you left,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you got to Scott County, just so the viewers know, you went from 16 sixth graders, 17 sixth graders to probably how many?
300 or 400.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of those kids, coming from Northern Elementary and Southern and Western, like
Yeah.
they all knew each other.
Yeah.
And there was only me and 2 other girls that I knew from St. John's that went into
Wow.
Scott County Middle. And of course, we didn't have classes together. So I would walk into class and all these kids knew each other, and I was just,
Yeah.
so I became a lot more introverted 6th grade, 7th grade, because I didn't know anyone.
Yeah. Do you still, those 2 girls that went with you, do you still see them or have contact with them?
Yeah.
Did you guys kind of fade out?
So one of them I don't have contact with anymore, but the other one is actually, she was my first friend ever. Her name is Becca. She was my first friend ever in daycare. We have the same birthday. That's how we got to be friends. And in daycare, I literally remember, it's like one of those core memories. When I'm 4 years old, I like walked up to her and I was like, "What's your birthday?" And she told me her birthday, and I was like, "I think that's my birthday too. Like, I'll ask my mom," because I was that little and I didn't even know what my birthday was. And then come to find out we had the same birthday. We were friends. We were best friends all the way up until we got our licenses. Then we kind of drifted apart a little bit. But I actually just talked to her yesterday.
Really?
So
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
So how old were you when you first developed an interest in fitness?
Oh, that's a hard question. Probably, I mean, it was as long ago as I can remember. I would say probably 11, 12. I didn't realize I was, developing an interest in fitness. That's when I was kind of like, insecure. Those like middle school girls, like confidence and stuff like that. So I was just like, I want to be skinny. My legs are too big. Everyone else has these thin, long legs, can wear these little shorts. I'm like, my legs are too big. And that's what kind of got me into like starting to go to the gym and do a lot of cardio and running and kind of watching what I ate, even though I didn't do it correctly. But
So was there one specific person who inspired you to work out, or was it just you? You just self-motivated?
it was really just me. I knew like I was so insecure about just like my body and going into that, into middle school and not knowing anybody and kind of having that insecurity on top of it with like, I'm not secure in my body. So now I'm scared to like talk to these other girls and
Right.
they're so much prettier than me and they're in so much better shape than me.
It's
And
amazing how middle school kids are so, I was the same way. I
Yeah.
guess we all are, but I mean, just insecure and,
yeah,
it's it can be cruel if you're, you can get eaten up by that stuff.
yeah.
But
So I just did anything I could, I was like, I need to be skinnier. I need to like look better. Like I'd just try to be like as active as I could and just do little workouts and stuff around my house. I remember my dad, do you remember when, so it's Elite now, but it used to be a gym before that called like
I'm
the
way
gym.
I'm way older than you, so
Anyone I've ever talked to was like, no, it wasn't. I was literally called like the gym.
I can go
think.
back to, gosh, I met my wife there. It was called Powerhouse. Do you remember that?
I don't remember Powerhouse.
See, you probably, yeah, it's been a while, but it was Powerhouse Gym, then the gym. It even became World Gym. Did you know that?
No.
So it was like Powerhouse, then World Gym, then the gym, then Elite or whatever. Tractor Supply was right beside it. So anyway, that's pretty cool. That's going
Way back
Yeah, it
to
is.
the gym days. My dad would drop me off after school, and then he'd go to Tractor Supply or whatever, let me walk on the treadmill for a little
Yeah.
bit, and then come back there and grab me.
Yeah, wow, and it's pretty cool. And you just keep going. That's what we do. You know, we just get that bug, and you see your body changing, and it becomes addicting, and you just want to keep seeing where you can take it.
Yeah.
So we talked about this earlier, but you said you competed in some women's fitness competitions.
Yeah, I've competed five times now. Yeah, I've competed in 5 different competitions. I do figure. So there's like the different classes. The bikini is kind of the softest one, and then there's figure, physique, and then bodybuilding.
Okay.
And there's wellness now. And there's
See, that's what I was going to ask, is because I don't even know a lot about that stuff, and there's so many different levels, right?
Yeah, so it's really like it depends on what you're kind of like what you would do the best in. My coach when I first started, he was kind of like, hey, you're going to be a better bikini competitor. You don't have a ton of muscle mass. At the time, I really didn't know what I was doing.
Who was your coach?
His name was Chad
Chad
Abner.
Abner. Oh yeah, great guy. Great
Yeah,
guy. Good
yeah.
friend.
He was my first coach ever, and
Well, if anybody knew what he was talking about, it's Chad Abner.
yeah, he was my first coach. And I remember I was like, I want to do figure, and he was like, why do you want to do figure? And I was like, those bikini poses are just. I've never have been someone to really like show off my body a lot. And at the time, which now they've changed up the posing standards, but at the time that back bikini pose was very revealing. And I was like, my dad's going to see me.
Yep.
So figure is more, it doesn't have that bent over back pose. Right. And it's more about like, you have to be more conditioned, more muscle, which I'm a natural competitor. So me going up against people who are unnatural, I definitely have a disadvantage. But
was that age-based or weight-based or what?
It's height-based for women.
Really?
For men, it's usually by weight, depending on the class. Again, but depending on the class, it's by weight or by height. Yeah. Like men's physique is usually by height. Bodybuilding is through weight. But most women divisions are through height.
Okay, I did not know that.
So
what about prepping for a competition, Morgan? Like what is today? It's almost January. So if a competition is in July, tell us about the prepping, because I know it's brutal. I mean, you have to be so disciplined.
Yes.
So what do you do? I mean, just in a nutshell for the prepping phase, if you've got, how much notice do you have? 6 months, 5 months, what?
So
9 months?
The shortest prep that I ever recommend for anybody is 12 weeks. I mean, and that's if you're ready to put in some work and be miserable.
I can only imagine.
My longest prep has been 22 weeks, so almost 6 months, a little over 5 months, I believe. So 22 weeks, and it's the decision to do it.
Right.
The decision that
the commitment.
You got to go all in.
Yep.
It's not something, it's not something to do to kickstart your fitness journey or to, I'm going to do this like super hard thing to like just get into it. It's not. It's a decision. There's no wiggle room. Like you've got to show up every day. The nutrition is hard. There's, you're not eating out. You don't have free meals, cheat meals. Yeah. Those little bites of your kids' food or your friends' food or, none of that. It takes a hit on like your social,
I would say it affects
social
everything.
calendar. It does, because your entire, it's like having another full-time job. Is what I tell people if they're like, I want to do a prep. I'm like, you need to have enough time to have another job in order to do a prep effectively, which I had a full-time job, but literally your entire day is going to revolve around your food. You have to have time to meal prep. You've got to have time to portion that stuff out in containers. You got to bring that stuff with you to work. There's no swinging through the drive-through. You've got to be able to do your workouts. I did 5 days a week of cardio. At the end of one of my preps, I was doing 2 hours of cardio every day, plus a workout on top of that. And
Goodness.
eating, I mean,
So the prep phase is, what percent is mental? Most of it?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's 80% mental. Your body can do a lot more than you think it can. Your body always is going to give up,
Yeah.
you know, or your body's always going to give up
Before your mind.
before your mind,
Is that right?
after.
Yeah,
Is
I
it?
know what you're saying.
Your mind's going to give up first. But
Yeah, but when you're pushed, you can go further than you ever thought. I mean,
yeah,
that's
I didn't realize how much like dedication it was when I first entered into my first prep. But once I went into it, Chad, like, you know, he taught me a lot.
Yeah, I didn't know if
about-
you were there when he was there, but
See, I wasn't going to that gym. What had happened, I was actually going to Toyota at that point, and one of the trainers at Toyota had come up to me. I would go in there at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., just doing random stuff. I didn't really know what I was doing at that time. She came in and she was like, if I do a bikini competition, will you do it with me? And I was like, sure, thinking that she was going to flake out. And then like 2 days later, I'm in there 5 a.m. walking on the treadmill. She was like, hey, I hired a coach. I'm going to compete in this show in Cleveland. And
dang.
I was like, oh, well, I should get a coach. So then I started looking up, you know, like who to go to. And I don't remember how I found Chad, but he was at Elite. So I just sent him a message and was like, hey.
Speaking of Elite, it's an incredible gym. Steve is the owner.
Love
He's a great
Steve.
guy.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I was there the day they cut the ribbon for Elite, and it was just it's just grown more and more each year. And it's such a clean and awesome environment, you know.
Yeah, that's my gym now. I was a very committed Toyota gym goer, but once COVID hit, I switched from Toyota. I had a dual membership. I was going to Toyota and Elite, but once COVID hit, the mask situation at Toyota, I was like, I got to go to Elite. They were a little bit more lax on that. It's so hard to work out with a mask on your face.
Yeah. So what about the actual show day? You've done all this preparation. You've come to the day of the show. How are the nerves? I mean, you see all the other people. You're like, is it like being in middle school? All these pretty girls. You see them all on the stage. You know, is it kind of the same thing? Intimidated?
No, honestly, like my first show, and obviously I've done a few at this point, but my first show was in Cleveland. That's the one that my friend wanted to do, and Chad kept. He's like, why this show? Like, are you sure you want to do this show? Like, this is a big show, and this is your first one. And
Go big or go home.
I mean,
right?
for reference, like Dana Lynn Bailey was the guest poser at that show, like Miss Olympia.
Wow.
It was a massive show, but
So you did swing for the fences on your first one.
yeah, at the time I didn't know what's a big show versus a little show. There were 19 girls just in my height class, which typically there's 4 or 5. So it was a massive show, but it's like once you get there, you're in the best shape of your life. I mean, as long as you're confident that I put in every ounce of work that I could have done. Like I did everything that I could have done. This is where I'm at. If you show up with that mindset,
That's a victory already.
exactly. You don't show up and be like, oh no, like it's like, no, like I'm the leanest I've ever been. I look the best I've ever looked. I'm ready. Like these girls might look better than me. They've been working out longer than me. They got bigger muscles than me, you know, whatever, but I might be leaner than them.
Do
I
you
might
think the
outpose
judging
them.
is like, do you think it's political, some of it? Or?
Some of it, yes.
Yeah.
Some of it, yes. But so I worked with Chad for my first show. I switched coaches after I worked with Chad my first show. I prepped myself for my second show and my third show, and I think I hired a new coach after that. And that second coach, I worked with Nick Tong. Freaking amazing coach. Love him to death. And I remember he told me, one of the things that he always told all of his competitors, he was like, I don't ever want to hear anybody complaining about the judges or the politics or
Just go.
I should have won over this person. He said, if you are undeniably the best person up there, you will win. Like, he was like, you need to be so good that you are undeniably the best. And I was like, you know what?
It's good advice.
Absolutely. Like, And if there's, they judge you on so many things. They judge you on your leanness, right? In my division, they judge you on your leanness. They judge you on your muscle fullness, how much muscle you have. And they also judge you on your posing.
Right.
So I could be the best looking person up there. My posing sucks.
Yeah.
Someone's going to beat me.
And I know Chad used to drill that into his people, like
Yep.
posing is, I would see them in the gym posing.
I still pose.
Yeah.
I haven't competed in years, but
And
I know I will.
And I know Chad left and went down south, right? He went somewhere.
He was in Lexington for a while,
I think
but
he's
I
in
don't know.
Campbellsville or somewhere now. I don't
Yeah.
know. Last I heard anyway, but
Yeah.
that's an old name I haven't heard in a while. So what about after the show? Which buffet did you destroy?
Oh gosh, all of them. Every buffet.
Oh Lord, I'd be like all over KFC or something bad. I'd just destroy it.
Dude, you should see, if you've never been in a bodybuilding competition, you think all these like super lean, buff people, you think backstage is all chicken and broccoli. Dude, backstage is Oreos, Reese's, brownies. People are carrying donuts in back there. I mean, it is
hilarious.
it's junk food.
So
backstage.
after the competition was over, did you take a few days off, or did you just right back in the gym?
Yeah, so after the first competition, I took a couple days off. Chad was just like, takes a couple days to just mentally, like, don't worry about it. Like,
Detox. Everything.
let it, yeah, just eat what you feel like eating. Give your body some rest, because it's hard on your body. Give your body some rest, and I was like, okay. And then he was like, but then you got to start your reverse diet, like, right after that. And, me, I'm like, no, Chad, I'm not doing any diet. If it has the word diet in it, I'm not doing it right now. So, I mean, ideally, you reverse diet so you don't gain all that fat right back very quickly, but
That's the
didn't follow.
key. Very quickly. It doesn't take long, does it?
No. My first show, just for reference, I dropped 15 pounds going into my first show. So I started prep at about 135.
But muscle outweighs fat, so how do you lose 15 pounds?
Because I look lean now, but I probably, if I needed to compete right now, I would need to lose 20 pounds.
Goodness gracious.
And I have abs at the moment. And
I do too, but they're hiding under a bunch of fat.
I would still need to lose that fat. You don't realize like how lean you really are on stage. But I dropped 15 pounds for my first show. Within the first month, I gained 30. Because I didn't follow my reverse diet. Chad gave me one. And I was like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not doing that, Chad. Didn't know that was going to happen. Metabolism downregulates, all that's, everything just slows down in your body because you're so lean. Your body's like trying to stay alive. And then when I just started eating, and I wasn't eating bad stuff. I was just eating a lot of rice and a lot of chicken and a lot of oatmeal because I was hungry. Yeah. And I just gained 30 pounds, like literally doubled back what I had lost.
So now the competition's over. So back to normal talk, like non-competition talk. Mm-hmm. How important is a clean diet to somebody like one of your clients coming in? Because it's so tempting for somebody that's not so committed to, to come to a workout and then go swing by some buffet somewhere. But
yeah,
how important is that clean diet though in maintaining that body that they want?
Your results depend on it.
Really?
Yeah, you cannot outwork a bad diet. And when I say a bad diet, I don't mean like a diet plan. I just mean like your diet, what you consume. Everyone has a diet, whether you are on a diet or not. Everyone has their own diet. Yeah. But you really can't outwork it.
Yeah. That's a good motto right there. What'd you say? You can't outwork a bad diet.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Like that saying, abs are made in the kitchen. It's 100%
That's this whole
true.
interview in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So what about, thanks for coming. So what about calories? Do you count them or not?
Yes, I actually count macros.
What are macros?
Level deeper than calories. So macros, it's short for macronutrients. There's 3: protein, fats, carbohydrates, and those 3 things make up all calories with the exception of alcohol. But your macronutrients are the nutrients that you need in large amounts in your body. So there's micronutrients, which are your vitamins, minerals. Macronutrients are your proteins, fats, carbohydrates. Okay. So as long as I hit my macros, since that's what makes up my calories, I automatically hit my calories. It just takes calorie counting to the next level to really optimize physique, because this is the analogy I use. If someone eats 1,500 calories a day in Twinkies versus I eat 1,500 calories a day with the right balance of protein, fats, and carbs. Who's going to get better results?
Right.
You know?
Because we know sugar stores fat. And,
Exactly.
you know.
Not all calories are created equal.
Right.
So taking that calorie counting to the next step, making sure you're getting adequate protein for your body and not overeating on your sugar and not, consuming 120 grams of fat a day. Like that's it's the biggest change with women. It's not the workouts, and even for me, it wasn't me working out, wasn't me learning how to work out. It was me learning how to eat.
Yeah. That's the whole battle. That's most of the battle, right?
Yep.
So what are your go-to foods?
So chicken, 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 chicken.
But not KFC's buffet chicken.
No,
Yeah.
no. I can't. I do get some grilled nuggets at Chick-fil-A though. Those are good. But like chicken, egg whites. I do bagels. I do sweet potato fries, sweet potatoes, regular potatoes. Eggs, peanut butter. I eat like normal foods.
Yeah.
It's because it really is like I can make anything work. It's just a matter of fitting that into my allotments for the day. How much protein do I need? How many carbs? How much fat? I can eat whatever. It's just
How you go about it.
yeah, it's just adjusting the rest of the day. I made a story the other day on Instagram and I was telling people, hey, I was out shopping, doing whatever. So I went to McAllister's up here. Their Savannah chopped salad is like my favorite food. Like, I love it. If you look at the nutrition on that salad, that salad is like 60 grams of fat. It's like 1,000 calories for that salad. So it's a lot. But I was like, I really want this. So for me to be able to like include that, I had to kind of work around like the rest of my day. I can't have a whole lot of other fat,
Right.
Fatty foods because I'm getting it all from this salad. So it's just about being intentional with what you're putting into your body and knowing what's going into your body versus what you need.
So how many days a week are you in the gym normally?
Usually 4.
4 days?
Yep. I
How
used to go
long-
6, but I go 4 now.
Wait till you're my age and you'll go 1. How long does a normal workout last for you?
45 minutes to an hour.
That's about what I do because I think any more than that's just overkill. You get
Yeah.
burned out.
Well, it raises the cortisol levels in your body. So that stress hormone, right? Like if there's good stress and there's bad stress, like you want to put some stress on your body for it to grow. But if you're in there for more than about an hour, there's studies that show it's raising your cortisol levels and it's really, not doing a whole lot of good for your body at that point. So get in, get out quickly. When I first started, I was working out 6 days a week. I was in there for 2 hours. I was doing like 35 sets of stuff and I wasn't getting anywhere.
Wow.
When I started working with Chad, he was like, we'll cut that down to 5 days a week. Here's your workout with 15 sets instead of my 35 sets.
Yeah,
and I was like,
less is really more in
Yeah.
most cases, if you know what you're doing.
yeah, the intensity is what matters.
So what about when you're lifting weights? When you're doing your, not cardio, but your actual weight training, are you doing heavier weights for lower reps, or are you going lighter weights for more reps, or do you do both?
Both.
Okay.
Usually it's, so I train for hypertrophy. So I train to build muscle. Like the reason I'm weightlifting is for aesthetics, to be completely honest. A lot of people will weightlift, especially women, for, osteoporosis. You don't want to get osteoporosis, bone degeneration, things like that, which weightlifting helps with. For me, right now, I'm 32, so I don't have to worry about that stuff right now, but I lift to look good.
Yeah.
So hypertrophy is like breaking muscle down, rebuilding that muscle. Rep ranges are usually for me between 8 and 12.
Okay. That's about average, about right.
Yeah.
So
Every once in a while, if I'm doing like a burnout set, I'll do a set of 15 or 20 or
if
something
I
like
walked
that.
into the gym tonight and you're in there, what's most likely coming through your headphones? What kind of music?
Post Malone.
Post Malone.
Post Malone. I love some Post Malone, but every once in a while, I'll do some like country
Oh my goodness.
or some screamo. I'm very
That's
opposite ends of the spectrum.
no Dead Man's Secret. You don't
No.
Even, you don't even know what that is.
No.
That's my band. So I'm gonna turn you on to that, and
Oh.
you let me know how that
Is it
goes.
screamo?
No, it's not screamo.
Just kidding.
We'll let you. You can tell me what you think about it.
It's funny because Post Malone had that. I went to the CMAs not too long ago, a few months ago.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, I went to the CMAs and he did that mashup with Hardy and Morgan Wall. It was Hardy, Morgan Wall, and Post Malone, and they sang "Pickup Man," that country song. And now they have this like mixtape out with country music and John Deere Green. It's a Joe Diffie song.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I'm
I
in
know
the
that
gym.
one.
Yeah. So I'm in the gym, like listen to posts. Like, there's something women like about it. Like in my headphones, I'm just
Goodness.
lifting up. Yeah, pick up, man.
Our little one, she's in 8th grade, and she's obsessed with country music. It's
I
like
love-
all we hear. And I'm a rock guy, so
Yep.
I mean, and she loves all that stuff, So, and so, this is something totally off topic, but you said the CMAs.
Yeah.
You probably won't believe this, neither will many people, but Chris Stapleton and I we've hung out when we were kids.
Really?
Like 6, 7, 8 years old, somewhere in that area. His dad was actually my dad's boss. They worked at the same coal mining operation together. And Chris's dad was a bigwig. He was a really great guy. Herb Stapleton was his name.
That's amazing.
Great, great people. And they were really good to us. And Herb passed away a few years back. And I think that was before Chris had blown up, but he was still on his way.
He's amazing.
But yeah, he's such a good person. Like when it flooded down in eastern Kentucky where I'm from, that's where he's from. He grew up in Paintsville.
I did not know that.
So he was down there hands on, man, like boots on the ground during the flood, helping people. He's such a good person.
That's
but now
awesome.
I don't know him, and he wouldn't remember me probably. Mm-hmm. But somewhere there's a videotape, probably like a VCR, VHS thing of us playing brooms and singing
That's awesome.
in his garage. And it seems like I remember smoke everywhere because my dad, everybody smoked back then
Oh, yeah.
in the house, and it was like I was like, Chris, where you at? But
Yep.
no
Yeah.
joke, that's pretty cool. But that's
Yeah.
my claim to Chris Stapleton.
That's awesome.
So-
Yeah, he was at the CMAs. He's amazing.
Yeah. So, what are your current personal fitness goals?
Currently, I am working towards, I want to put on some muscle. It's winter time, so it's a nice time to kind of build and bulk and not be in a calorie deficit. You can't put on a whole lot of muscle when you're in a deficit. So currently, I'm in a reverse diet, so I'm just working my calories, my macros up, focusing on getting stronger in the gym, utilizing progressive overload, and then probably around March-ish, I'll start back down into a fat loss phase and shed a few pounds, maybe like 10
Leaning up
pounds
for
or
the
so.
spring.
Yeah. Yep.
So, how do you motivate yourself? Just Post Malone and Joe Diffie?
Yeah. Post Malone and Joe Diffie. No, like, how do I motivate myself? It's really like an internal, like, drive thing for me. And at this point, it's just a part of who I am. It's part of my identity. If I don't go to the gym and and there's weeks that I don't go, like that's just part of it. I don't go every day for the rest of my life, but it's just part of my normal like routine, my normal habit. It's just kind of like going to work, There's days I don't feel like going to the gym. There's days that I'm sure, people don't feel like going to work, but you do it because you have a responsibility. You need to make that income to be able to pay your
That's
bills
right.
and provide. I need to go to the gym to keep myself in good shape
Right. And feel good about yourself.
and feel good about myself.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. So, how would you describe a successful training session?
Focused. I always, if I get distracted or, get to dancing and singing too much, I get unfocused, but focused, and progressive. So if I can lift a little bit more than what I was lifting the session before that, either a little bit more reps or maybe a little bit more weight, that's a successful one in my book.
Fewer distractions. Right. So, how many guys come up to you in the gym and want to talk?
Honestly, I think I have RBF, I think
block it out.
I think I have that like face that just kind of says like,
Stay away.
don't talk to me. Because it doesn't really happen very often, honestly.
Well, I'm glad I went up to my wife when she was a powerhouse and bugged
Yeah.
her. So 22 years later,
There you go. Yeah, it worked out.
And I'm not telling people to go hit on her because you are taken. I know you.
I am. I do.
boyfriends,
Yeah.
So don't
Yep.
bother her. So Morgan, what would you say your weaknesses are?
Ooh, good question. Probably one of my biggest weaknesses is taking on too much. Taking on too many things, feeling like I can do everything, and then I stress myself out. And once I commit to something, I'm just one of those people. Once I commit to something, I'm committed.
You're gonna see it through.
Yeah, my parents taught me that from a very young age. I'd get signed up for sports or softball teams or basketball teams or whatever, and halfway through the season, I'd want to quit. Mom would always, no, like, you committed to this,
You
you
finish
do
it.
it. You're going to the games, you're going to practice. If you don't want to play next season, you don't have to play, but you have an obligation. You've signed
season.
up for this. So now I'll take on responsibilities like that, and I still have that mindset of like, well, you committed to this. And it's like, okay, Morgan, but you committed to this 3 years ago. Like, it just isn't you gotta, there's a give and take. There's a balance there for sure.
So what are your strengths?
I'm a super hard worker. It's one of my biggest strengths. I have more tenacity, I think, than most of the people I know. It's just like one of those things. If I have my mind set on something, I will figure out a way to get to that thing. Like if I set a goal for myself, there's nothing that I can think of that's going to just keep me from it. If I truly have my mind set on something, I'll get there. And it's nothing to, it's not bragging, nothing like that. It's just, I'm not going to give up on it.
Right.
I just I've gotten into the habit of honoring commitments to myself and really, if I set a goal, I'm not going to let myself back out of that. Yeah. That's why I'm so confident too. And that's why I've been so successful in my fitness journey and my business and things like that, is just because, if I have a goal, like I'm going to do it. Like I don't let myself off the hook. I have that confidence that I can achieve it. And that's because I've built that confidence showing myself that I can achieve it for, however many years that I've already accomplished all these other things. So
what advice would you give to any young girls who are in middle school or wherever you were at that are trying to get to where you are now?
Keep the promises you set for yourself. That's like the biggest thing. If you tell yourself that you're going to go to bed at 9 o'clock, you better be in that bed at 9 o'clock. If you tell yourself you're going to do your laundry today, you better freaking do your laundry today. It starts with those little tiny commitments that you don't think matter, but they do. They matter so much. Or if you've called yourself out, like, I'm in this really bad habit of scrolling on my phone at night, I'm going to stop doing that. You better stop doing it. Like, stop doing it. Because
Discipline, right? Discipline.
Yeah. Honor those commitments that you make, because if you can't trust yourself to follow through on the things you tell yourself you're going to do, it affects you more than you would ever imagine, because it kills your confidence in yourself. So then, of course, when you set this fitness goal or you set this career goal, well, you don't have any confidence in yourself to follow through and get any of that stuff, because you've shown yourself in all this other, I can't even do the laundry when I tell myself I'm going to do the laundry, let alone lose 50 pounds.
That's right. Makes sense.
It's the biggest piece of advice.
What's about all I have, really, except for now I get into this little, it's called the rapid fire segment. I'm going to hit you with like 7 questions.
Okay.
Just answer with whatever comes to your mind first.
Okay.
So,
should be fun.
yeah, this is usually the funnest part. But number 1, if you could possess any superpower, what would it be?
Flying.
Would you choose a mansion in the city or a log cabin on 100 acres in Stamping Ground?
100 acres for sure.
Your first celebrity crush was?
Oh, first celebrity crush, probably Taylor Lautner
I don't even know who that is.
from Twilight.
Oh, I think
Jacob.
my wife likes that show.
Jacob from Twilight. He was the wolf, I think. Yeah, he was the werewolf thing.
If animals could talk, which would be the funniest?
Of my animals?
Any animal, I guess.
Any animal. I feel like frogs would be hilarious if they could talk.
I like to hear a monkey talk. That'd be funny, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, monkeys would be fun too.
If you could be any age for the rest of your life, what age would you be?
Oh, Lord. Probably like my age I am right now. 32, 20s, there's just too much I'm still trying to figure out. 30s, I just, you figured it out and you just don't care about all the crap anymore. So right now would be good.
I think 30 is about a good answer. That's pretty good. So if you could have dinner with anybody, past or present, who would it be?
I think it'd be Donald Trump, honestly.
Donald Trump. Great answer.
It's an interesting fella there.
Yeah. Heck yeah. At least he would buy, I hope.
Yeah, I would hope so. Free dinner, right?
And you'd be getting some really good dinner on that one. All right. Dream vacation for Morgan.
I would love to go to Bora Bora. I'm a beach vacation kind of person, and Bora Bora I've seen videos and it just seems like it's beautiful there.
I'd say Trump would take you there.
Yeah. I'll have to really give him a good impression at our dinner.
There you go. Well, Morgan, thank you for being here.
Absolutely, Bub.
Happy New Year to you, and good luck in 2024.
Yeah.
Hope you accomplish all those goals.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Do you want a piece of peanut butter fudge before you leave? Thanks for being here, though.
Thank you.